an empirical matter, they seem to spend a lot of energy killing each other, right? That's the first and foremost reason I talk about it, is that they do a lot of killing of each other. And, and why do they do that? Why doesn't Procter & Gamble go out and, like, kill the other guys in the dish soap market, It is, but why do they compete that way? Well, why? Well, part of it is economies of scope again. That is, we've created, one of the things that they need to do to enforce their contracts with people is be violent. They can't use the court. So who selects into being a drug dealer or running a drug cartel? People who don't mind using violence. The other thing is, one of the ways we've fought drug dealers and raised their cost is by attacking them militarily, right? But what happens when you attack people militarily? Well, they want to defend themselves militarily. Again, once I have all that military capability, why should I limit to using it against the government? I'm going to use it against my competitors, right? We've economies of scope again. Again, this is the scale effect at work again. I got a scale effect of military activity and violence. I mean, and if you look at, for example, what's happened in Mexico, one of the adverse consequences of Mexico's crackdown on the drug cartels is they ended up basically getting rid of the less violent cartels and increasing the comparative advantage of the more violent cartels, who have expanded their reach and their market shares in Mexico. Yeah. That's the point. You can't punish them either, right? They already have to do a bunch of illegal stuff, and you're already going to throw them in jail for drug dealing, right? This is what is called the marginal deterrence problem, right? This is, right? I got this guy. He's already killed a bunch of people. He's going to face the death penalty already, and I want to take him captive. Well, you got like a problem, right? He's got a serious incentive to fight with all his might, because there's the marginal deterrence you can impose isn't so great. And that's kind of the problem you have with the drug dealers, right? They've structured their business in such a way that, you're not going to say, well, see, you guys are criminals. Nobody's going to deal with you anymore. Well, you already were known to be criminals, right? Why wouldn't Blackwater go out and kill their competitors? Well, they'd lose a lot of contracts. If it became known that they'd killed their competitors, they'd lose a lot of business, right? When the drug cartel in Mexico go kill the competitors, they don't lose business. They gain business. People say, yeah, I like those guys. They'll protect my drugs. They'll protect, right? That's a good thing from their point of view. Because, again, it's about marginal versus average, right? There's very little marginal disincentive. There's not rising marginal cost in this world. Once I've already been labeled as a criminal, marginal cost of being labeled a bigger criminal isn't so low, right? I mean, I think, right, that the difference between a rising marginal cost scenario and a declining marginal cost scenario is very important. And I think that's what we're saying, right? That is, the marginal cost to me of being labeled a criminal is lower when I'm already known to be a criminal. Most economic problems, we assume the opposite. We assume marginal cost is rising with output. So if I'm already starting to be labeled a criminal, I really don't want to be labeled a super criminal. But I think when it comes to criminal activity, it probably doesn't work that way. Being a super criminal is better than being a not so super criminal, right? It's back to, right? But isn't that back to our Roy model, where we said the key thing is you don't want to be like in the indifference point. If you're going to be over here, you might as well be far, because once you've decided I'm going to be in the criminal sector, I want to be the best criminal I can be.